They can see things that are due on certain days, upcoming events, etc. So that's really, really helpful.
I have a quick question. Do all the teachers put 100% of the assignments on the calendar?
No, and that's something we can talk about at the end as well. Our main use for it so far this year has been for coordinating tests and quizzes, and there are some assignments that are due online, but not all homework assignments are posted online. So that's a great question.
Like major assignments, so day-to-day assignments often don't find their way on there, but major assignments that students would have to plan multiple days to be working on will be on the calendar.
Exactly. And for us as teachers, the reason that was especially useful is that we could see, if Mr. Picard has a quiz on Wednesday and I want to have a test on Wednesday, we can communicate with each other and try to make sure they're not all on the same day. Because as we said at the beginning, they have 5 major subjects, and it would be a really shame if everybody tested on the same day. Second thing we get to talk about, homeroom teacher. I put in this picture of a house cut off. The homeroom teacher serves as a liaison to the rest of the 6th grade team for general student concerns. What this means is, if you're concerned about something, say your child's come home and you're worried about maybe something regarding friend groups or something like that, and you want to talk to a teacher, rather than talk to the entire team, you communicate specifically with your child's homeroom teacher, and we can set up a meeting to discuss things if there's a specific concern. If you do have concern about one particular subject, let's say for instance your child is having a difficult time with math, you can certainly just talk to the math teacher and have a meeting that way. And conferences, like I said, held with a homeroom teacher. So if you have a concern about your child, talk to the homeroom teacher, we'll set up the conference.
Can I just jump in?
Yes.
One thing that's different about conferences this year that you should be aware of though is in the past, you conference every fall and every spring with your teacher. That's not the same in the middle school. They're on an as needed or as requested basis because you're getting, every 4 weeks you're getting a progress report or report card. So you actually get a lot more information in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade because you're getting information every 4 weeks, but you don't have set conferences in the fall and spring. So that's just something to be aware of for moving into middle school.
And please feel free to request.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't be shy about setting up a meeting. We're always open and welcome the opportunity to sit down and talk with you about your child.
And sometimes the questions, are just an email or a phone call, and then sometimes a conference, but you can do either. If it's just like struggling in a particular unit in math, or I need some help, helping them at home with this, or we're a little confused, it could be an email as well.
Yep, and most of the time, I can't speak entirely for all the other teachers, but I think we're on the same page that if it's a short concern about something, shooting an email is probably the easiest way to reach us, because a lot of the time during the day, we might stop the computer to take attendance or something, see your email, and be able to see that concern really quickly. Phone calls are good as well, but yes, meetings are good. One other thing I just want to put in a shameless plug for, it's not on here and it doesn't really have anything to do with communication, but Math League. Some of your students participated in Math League this year as 5th graders. Next year, again, I'll be looking for them to come out and do some really great math and compete as 6th graders. So Math League is for 6th and 5th graders. We made some great progress this year thanks to some of your students. We first meet of the year, 6th place, second meet, 4th place, third meet, 2nd place, and just 3 points away, so close. So we're hoping to pick up next year where we left off. So if you have a student who is very interested in math, one area that we try to provide differentiation is through this Math League. So have them come, we do lots of really challenging problems, and they have a blast. Lastly, we have a few brief moments before we have to rush back to class, but if you have any questions, you can answer briefly. Any questions? You want to answer them as a team? Yep.
On the calendar side, do you have an export to iCalendar or something like that?
I'm sorry?
You export to iCalendar. I don't think so. I don't think you can.
Oh.
So the question is, can you export the Edmodo calendar to something like iCalendar or another calendar program? And I have not explored that option personally, and I don't want to say no, but I don't think so. Yeah.
Are you saying that this basic structure is then going to be a thread that continues throughout the middle school?
Yes. So
Including Edmodo?
So that's a good question. I think
We've been talking about how we would use Edmodo in 7th and 8th grade. It's a little bit more complicated because in 6th grade, the classes stay the same. So all the homeroom classes, so if you sign up for 6P, it's all the same, they're all the same classes and so on. But in 7th and 8th grade, not only do they move around, not only do they move around, but also the kids swap around. So they're all in different spaces at different times, so it becomes more complicated in 7th and 8th grade as to how that would work. We're talking about how we would make it work, but we're not sure that that is a structure that would work for 7th and 8th grade yet.
My concern is it sounds really wonderful and very, very great for children who like computers, but my concern is that this is just like another junior Facebook kind of opportunity for kids.
I think the big regulation that is different between Facebook and Edmodo for us, like I said, as teachers, we can see all comments that are posted about anything and delete them. We can take away students' ability to post. So it eliminates the whole like cyberbullying aspect that exists on other social media.
Yeah, but how do we regulate their use of this because it's an excuse that they're doing their homework?
But they're not allowed to post anything that's not academic, and we already have suspended students' privileges this year for posting things as trivial as like, hey, what's up? You know, we remove that comment and say, that's not appropriate for this. It's only for homework questions. So there's no sort of social exchange that takes place on this program
And
at
if you
all.
have a student that you're struggling at home, so therefore you're taking away computer privileges, this is one aspect. It's like a plus. They have their planner, all this stuff has gone over in class, it should be in their assignment notebook. This is a way where if you've got the child who rushes out of class too fast or forgot to do the assignment notebook, and there's a lot of pluses to it, but it's not the only way, it's
right.
like an addition. Like all that information that's on there, as far as assignments, is given out otherwise.
What's the appropriate way you want students communicating with you, via email or via this platform?
Both work really well.
But is there a preferred one, or it doesn't matter?
It probably varies teacher to teacher. Edmodo works really, really well. Our emails tend to be just these really long strings. If you've ever emailed a teacher here before, you know it's like first name underscore last name at da 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 da. So it's probably easier for the students to message us right through Edmodo.
Okay, so my question is this, if they have a question,
Yep.
does everyone see that question, or is it?
No, so they
It's private.
they call them direct posts or direct
Yeah.
messages, and
Yeah.
they go specifically to the teacher. And what's nice about it is we receive in our email inboxes a little note, Jack sent you a message. Click on this to reply to the message. And we can see Jack's message reply directly to him, and nobody else sees it, and it works perfect.
So they have the choice, they can
can
post
choose.
things to post to the whole class, or they can send something directly to the teachers, they have a choice.
So if they're absent, and but this is not a good way to use Edmodo to use to see what they've missed, because not everyone posts the daily assignments, it's just major assignments, is that?
But they could, if they were absent, they could put a sign on saying, hey, I was absent today, could someone post what all the homework today was? And then one of their classmates could write on there what their homework was, or call them or something, their friends.
And are they expected to have it the next day if they were absent?
No. But a lot of kids, when they're sick, sometimes they're sick in the morning, but they're feeling better by the afternoon. And because in the middle school, there are so many classes, and there is homework that comes with every class, a lot of them, if they're feeling better, they kind of want to get started on it, because otherwise the next night, it's twice as much homework to do. So it's just an option.
Yeah, but we don't expect that at all.
Yeah, if they
Like,
they don't
temps
really
down,
come in the
here's your
next
pencil.
day.
Yeah.
They can write.
Can a brother or sister or a parent come in and say,
Absolutely.
can grab?
Yeah, and if they're sick, they just come in the next day and say, hey, I wasn't here yesterday, can you just tell me the homework and write it down? It really depends on the student, what their preference is for how to make up that work. There are some kids who are homesick and they're nervous wrecks because they know school is happening and they're not there. There are other kids who are home and they're like, woohoo, day off, right? So it really depends on who you have and what their outlook is.
We'll only have another 2 more minutes, and then we're going to lose our coverage for the event, so.
I hate to be negative, but I think it's a wonderful idea, but at the same time, if teachers were to post the assignment instead of the students telling each other, it would be much more valuable because students are not going to give accurate information most of the time.
Still, and I think Mrs. Zama touched on this, but our number one way that the students should be getting their assignments is in class.
No, I'm saying